Greetings everyone, and today I'm looking at this mic here. This is the Neumann TLM102. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions. This is my second mic look at the TLM102. Now, I purchased this mic some time ago for the purpose of recording, covers and songs with my friends. So I wanted a really good studio mic, but during that time, I found out that treating a room is probably more important than the mic itself, and doing recording covers are really not good if you don't really treat the whole area properly. But now with a treated room, let's take a look at this mic. The mic I purchased was second hand, so this mic cost around 700 Sing dollars or about 500 USD. That's a pretty good deal because this version I got is the one with the shock mount, but it still comes in that cardboard box. Let me show you. And the cardboard box itself is really plain. And that's about it. This is the packaging of the mic. So for a 800 USD mic, if you look at brand new in B&H, or about I got it for like 700 Sing dollars second hand. I would say as the packaging is really lacking. But this mic is really well built, very solid, really heavy for the mic of its size. And when I purchased it second hand, the condition was really good. There was no dings, no dents, and pretty much everything was in top condition. However, the shock mount had some, scrapes, but overall this shock mount was still really solid. Overall, I think that this was quite a good deal and I got it and I tried it out. So today we will take a look at this mic itself. Now that we have the TLM102 hookup, and let's talk about the TLM102, how it works and its sonic characteristics. First, the TLM102 is a condenser mic. It requires 48 volt phantom power to work, and it is a cardioid mic which only accepts sound mainly from the front, as you can see the pattern here. In addition that, in terms of frequency response, it is relatively flat throughout, with a slight dip at the front and a slight hum at the back. Now let's move on to the test itself. Based on some feedbacks from my friend, I have some changes to the test itself. Firstly, we will do a plosive test, but this time we will do the test about 1 feet away. Next, we have the proximity and distance test, which will go from really close to about 2 feet away. Next, we have the room ambient test, which will test both the mic in terms of its room ambient rejection and also its noise internally. Followed by, we have tapping on the keyboard and tapping on the table to see how it rejects noise while you are working and speaking to the mic. Lastly, we have the speaking to the left and the back of the mic and the soft and loud test. This pretty much sums up the test we will do for the future mic test that we will have. Let's move on to the test itself. We will use the Rode Podmic against the TLM102. So there is a basis for comparison. Both of these mic will be plugged into the Mix Pre 3. The Rode Podmic do not require phantom power and will require 65 gain on the Mix Pre 3. Now, the TLM102 requires phantom power and it will plug into the Mix Pre 3 at a gain of 48. I noticed that the loudness meter looks the same, however in post-processing they are slightly different. As such, the TLM102 is reduced by 5 gain in post-processing to sound similar. For the purpose of the test, the TLM102 will always be in front of the Rode Podmic. And for the convenience, all of these timings and when the test is done is marked below in the comments and you can easily jump to where you want to listen to. And now let's move on to the test itself. This is the TLM102 Plosive test. Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers. This is the Podmic Plosive test. Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers. This is the TLM102. This is the proximity test. This is about 3 inches away. This is test at 1 feet. This is the test at 2 feet. This is the Podmic. This is the proximity test. This is about 3 inches away. This is test at 1 feet. This is the test at 2 feet. This is the room ambient test. This is the room ambient test. This is a test tapping on the table. This is the test tapping on the keyboard. This is a test tapping on the table. This is the test tapping on the keyboard. This is the TLM from the front. This is the TLM from the side. This is the TLM from the back. This is the Podmic from the front. This is the pod mic from the side. This is the pod mic from the back. This is a really soft voice. This is a standard voice. This is a really loud voice. This is a really soft voice. This is a standard voice. This is a really loud voice. For the conclusion of this review itself, the TLM102 is definitely a better sounding mic. Is it $700 better? I'm not too sure, but definitely on my voice, it is better sounding all around. It is smoother and there is less shrill. In fact, if you compare side by side, you'll notice that the pod mic does have a slight metallic sound, which the TLM doesn't have. It has slight more warmness and a slight more, I would say, as presence in the mic itself. The TLM102 also rejects sound better. It has a lower noise floor. In terms of noise floor, it is about 2 to 3 decibels lower. And in terms of noise rejection, it is rejecting about 7 decibels more of noise, especially from the keyboard and the tapping. So overall, if you ask me, the TLM is definitely a better mic. Now, of course, there is one question if you ask me. If you're just doing podcast and video, which is a better mic? I'll say the pod mic is a simpler mic to use. Firstly, the TLM102 really requires a pop filter. If not, the plosives are quite distracting. While the pod mic is really simple, you can get really up close, there is really minimum plosives. And in terms of sound, I would say as the pod mic sounds pretty good unless you compare with the TLM102 side by side. And most importantly, the TLM102 costs nearly 7 to 8 times more depending on which package you get. If you get a package like me with the shock mount, it will cost you nearly 8 times more. For every TLM102, you could have get 8 pod mics or 2 Shure SM7B. Now, SM7B is something I will test in the future, but at least for me, if you're just a podcaster and you are just a video maker like me, I think the pod mic will just suffice pretty well. And that's about it for today's review. I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to see more of such review, do like and subscribe because definitely I will do more mic reviews in the future. In addition to that, I will get my friends who sing on board to this video channel and help me review the mics from a singer's perspective, from a vocal's perspective. I hope you enjoy this and I will see you next time. Bye bye.